Good morning. Greetings, everyone. And greetings to those of you who probably just left and are coming back. Yeah, I just did a wonderful live stream and apparently there was no audio to it. So let me check and see if there's audio now. Bear with me. To those of you who probably, it seems like there is. Now, let me see if there is some audio if I share my screen. Sorry, but before we get going, I'm not going to make this same mistake twice. It sounds like there is. So please, any of you who come in, tell me if you can hear me. I'm now watching the chat. So let's do this before I get started again. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. And hey, you know what? Sometimes life requires a take two. So this morning you get a BOGO. One you could hear, one you couldn't hear. But I will tell you what this live stream is about. And it only gets better, man, because I just had a trial run. I just invested a half an hour in a trial run. And this is about the GOAT, man. Hey, is the sound on? All right, Nicholas, the sound is on. All right. Well, where I started the last time, I'm just going to begin now. You know what I'm wearing here? It's a Tampa Bay Buccaneers jersey, the number 12. See right there, the number 12. You guys know who that is. Oops. Let me stop sharing. Look, we're going to start that over too. Hey, you know this jersey? It's the number 12 jersey, and it is worn by the GOAT. Who's the GOAT? Well, let me screen share and show you. There's the GOAT, Tom Brady, right? Greatest of all time. That's what GOAT means, greatest of all time. And so I figured it's Sunday morning, you know, usually it's football. And so I might as well put on this jersey and talk about the GOAT. But you know what? I'm going to talk about a different GOAT. I'm going to talk about, as the title suggests, a rich GOAT. Or better, rich GOAT. Rich, greatest of all time. I want to share something with you. Bear with me. Gut check. Greetings. Can you still hear me, everyone? When I share? Can you see this and can you hear me? I hope so. Look, this is a really important quote for what I'm going to share with you this morning. It is a quote by Sarah Ackler in Fixing Delilah, and it goes like this. In your entire life, you can probably count your true friends on one hand, maybe even on one finger. Those are the friends you need to cherish. And I wouldn't trade one of them for 100 of the other kind. I'd rather be completely alone than with a bunch of people who aren't real, people who are just passing time. Now, you've heard me say this before, but I do believe in that very important 5-finger rule. I think at any one point in time in your life, and sometimes it changes year in and year out, but when I think about, you know, my 5 fingers and I think about the best friends in my life, the people who I engage with the most, the people who I would want in my foxhole, you know, the ones who, if I have really deep issues, that are my go-tos. There's one person in my life who has been there for 25 years. He's been there for 25 years. His name is Rich Vogel. He happens to be not only one of my very best friends, but he has been my boss for 25 years. And I've been working for Rich for that long, absent 4 years when I went out and went on my own and did some things. But I came back in 2012, and even during that 4 years time span, he remained on my top 5. And what I want to share with you is he sent me something last night that I watched. I watched it once. I got a lot out of it. And then I watched it a second time and I got more out of it. This morning I woke up and I got more out of it the third time. And I was just sitting there thinking, I thought, man, this is just such gold. You know, I want to share it with my community here at the Uncle Vigilante Show. This is the Uncle Vigilante Show. Smash that like button, hit the notification bell. Please subscribe. Let other people know we exist. You know, we began this journey as just me being a newbie, following my journey in crypto, and then it pivoted into me trying to determine which coins are the best coins to invest in, and interviewing all kinds of founders and leaders, and really then settling on one coin, Epic Cash, which is pretty much what I cover now with this channel. And the man I'm going to share with you, by the way, he's an investor. How could he not be? He's on my 5 fingers. So am I going to be able to let him get away with not being an Epic Cash investor? Of course not. But what I want to do is share with you that what you're going to see today is a commencement speech that Rich recently gave at the University of Connecticut Business School. Now think about it. Think about 35 years ago. He graduated from that business school, just sitting out there in the crowd, like you're going to see these kids. And how many commencement speeches has there been since he's graduated? Just 34, right? So what you are going to see today and witness is I took that recording, which I had to do my Toddy thing because the recording was like from far, far away. So I imported it and I did some close-up stuff and edited a little bit so that we could really, really focus in on his words of wisdom. And I want to share it with you because I think his words of wisdom are going to impact each and every one of you. I think they're going to give you hope. I have enjoyed this man's wisdom for 25 years. He is the wisest person I know by far. And enough about the tee up. I'm just going to begin this, introduce you to Rich Vogel, who just got last weekend his honorary doctorate. So he is now Dr. Vogel. Gosh, I have to start calling him Dr. Vogel now. That's going to be kind of fun. But I'm going to share it with you. Let him share his words of wisdom. And this was from just last weekend. All right. Enjoy. And in the chat, if you cannot hear it, please wave your hand and I will be paying attention this time. Cheers. Cheers.
Thank you, David. It is an academic custom that those who have excelled in science, letters, the arts, or have served humanity through writing of their other acts should be appropriately honored. Today, the university is proud to award one honorary doctorate at this ceremony. The citation will be presented to Richard Vogel, and the degree will be confirmed by Interim President Dr. Rodenka Merrick. The candidate will be presented by the Associate Dean of the School of Business, Robert Day. Please join me in welcoming Richard Vogel and Robert Day.
Good afternoon, graduates, parents, family, staff, faculty, and friends. The truest measure of any public research university is contribution of students, faculty, staff, and alumni to advancing our society. You are going to learn today about one of our special, Richard Vogel. You will hear about his wisdom, good heart, and community. A seasoned executive, professional manager, and startup advisor, Richard Vogel has spent a career shaping and translating ideas into successful marketing programs in the US and abroad. His founding partner, Chief Financial Officer and Chief Operating Officer of Global Enterprise, a New York-based private investor focused on cultivating opportunities in emerging media and consumer marketing. He holds the same title at Global NYC, Global Enterprise Startup Lab, and Venture R. Mr. Vogel is responsible for the development and execution of current projects, as well as the financial management and administration of the company and its holdings. Prior to partnering with Mitchell Global to create Global Enterprise in 2005, Mr. Vogel was a president of MDSC Corp. And wholly owned subsidiary of Synapse Group. Mr. Vogel's professional experience also includes roles at Time Warner Incorporation and E.F. Hutton. Mr. Vogel earned a Bachelor of Science degree in Finance, magna cum laude, and was honors scholar from the School of Business at the University of Connecticut in 1987. In 1990, he earned an MBA in Finance from the Stern School of Business at New York University. Mr. Vogel is an advisory board member and financial supporter of the Wirth Institute. Even as an undergraduate student, Mr. Vogel was a member of the Sigma Pi Epsilon fraternity and the John F. Kennedy Institute for International Relations. Mr. Vogel is a member of the Constitution Circle of Founders Society. In the community, he is a former board member and past president of the Stanford Jewish Community Center, where he also served as a co-chair of the Centennial Committee. Richard Vogel is a recognition in your accomplishment and service to the people of Connecticut and the United States. It's our honor to bestow upon you today, this 7th day of May 2022, the degree of Doctor of Human Letters, honoris causa.
All right, before we go on, I want to stop sharing and I want to share a different one because you heard her say that at one point in time, he was with E.F. Hutton. And that is exactly what I thought about this morning. And I went and I hunted down this commercial because this is how I feel about Rich. And this is about how everybody I know who has met him, who's been advised by him, who has partnered with him, they all have this same reaction that I do. And I think this is just apropos. Okay, here we go. Bear with me.
Got the purchase of a good stock. You don't say. Yeah, my broker says it's a real good buy. What does your broker say? Well, my broker's E.F. Hutton. And Hutton says... When E.F. Hutton talks, people listen.
When Rich Vogel talks, people listen. So let's hear him talk, shall we? Yes, we shall.
The virtual authority vested in me by the trustees of the University of Connecticut, in accordance with the procedures and regulations of the university, it's my special pleasure to confer upon you this day, May 7, 2022, the degree of Doctor of Human Letters with the appropriate rights, responsibility, and distinctions pertaining thereto. So, Richard, you are one of our best. Thank you.
Well, thank you for that gracious introduction, President Merrick. And thank you also to Chairman Toscano, Dean Elliott, Professor Noble, family, friends, and most of all, the graduates. Good afternoon. You made it. This is indeed a magical moment. None of us could have imagined the path that this graduating class would take to get here. Many people look back on their career and see it as a roller coaster ride. But the sharp twists and turns don't generally begin until after college. 4 years ago, your UConn journey began according to script. Lecture halls were filled when you began, and then they were empty. TEDS was packed when most of you were still underage. But suddenly it wasn't. Many of you lived on campus, then you didn't, then you did again. You were in class, you were virtual, you took PCR tests, you took antigen tests, mandates were debated, they were imposed, they were unimposed, and redebated. Yet through every jarring, unpredictable twist and turn, you learned, you thrived, and best of all, you have graduated. There are so many accolades that you deserve, but if you'll allow me just to start for a moment from my heart, it is an extremely personal honor to be here with you today. I sat right where you are 35 years ago. However, we were in a different building, of course, but my family was here, and none of us thought they'd ask me back for any reason. So parents, please know that when they ask your graduate back to stand at this podium and speak at commencement, they will give you much better seats. There's a lot to look forward to. I am beyond grateful to the university for this privilege and beyond humbled to be among the very accomplished people receiving honorary doctorates this weekend. As I sat in your seat on my graduation day, I remember feeling very proud, but also uneasy and anxious about what would come next. That is still the same uneasiness I feel when we create a new business. It's healthy, but don't ever let it stop you from going boldly into your work, from using fear and anxiety as a motivator and a source of focus. There are no dreams too big, there are no walls too high, there are no problems too complicated. Attack it all with the grit and ambition that it took you to successfully navigate the roller coaster of the last 4 years. So let's look forward for a moment and consider the dynamics of the working world that you are about to enter, the context for the start of your career. Every disruption creates a new operating reality for business. This pandemic was no exception. It has heralded an unprecedented acceleration of trends in the workplace. Industry segments are racing through their adolescence. Spaces like mobility tech, education tech, insure tech, Web 3.0, and decentralized everything. Our distribution platforms reach billions of consumers in the snap of a finger. Iteration cycles move at warp speed. Product development and consumer engagement are throttled up 24/7, 365. And happily, the markets today are flush with institutional capital. Large pools of money searching for those few truly differentiated projects. Game-changing ideas are turning into wildly valuable enterprises more quickly than ever. And any business doing things the same way it did 25 years ago is likely overdue for disruption. Likewise, any job that's being done the same way it was done yesterday must and can be done better tomorrow. Those pieces on the chessboard of your career are laid out beautifully. They spell massive opportunity for you, and it's probably not even the best part. Employers, to use a broad generalization, have finally embraced and recognized the importance, in fact, the priority of your wellness. The health and well-being of their most precious resource, their human capital, is now a critical component of long-term commercial success. Unlocking your potential by understanding how you function best must now be a core competency for companies to win in the marketplace. Companies are recruiting with your emotional and physical well-being at the top of their pitches to you. How cool is that? Here's an illustration. During your senior year, someone coined the phrase, the Great Resignation. I believe that is a misnomer. It should be called the Great Reset, because it is a resetting of the attributes necessary for companies to recruit, train, and retain the best talent in the world, and that is you. Providing flexibility in how you work, where you work, when you work, the quality of the people you work with, those are no longer cherries on top. They are fundamental. You are more self-aware, more tuned into the things that are inherently rewarding than any generation before you. Your happiness matters, and I urge you to search for the things in your work that inspire and delight you. Now, to be perfectly honest, identifying those things, the things you are deeply passionate about, the things that drive you, can be tricky. You may get there by learning first about all the things that don't make you happy. That is mostly what I did in the early part of my career. I was so sure I wanted a career on Wall Street, it took me about 3 weeks to learn that I hated it. And a few months later, they fired me. And that turned out to be the beginning of a wonderful journey. In consumer marketing, we often fail our way to success. We test, we iterate, we learn all the things that don't work. And oftentimes, those failures open the door to the winning path. Career can work the same way. Now, I've been blessed, along with my business partner, to have launched dozens of startups into the world. And along the way, we have hired almost 24 UConn graduates. Some as interns, some as full-time employees across our portfolio and across the United States. So from firsthand experience, let me describe just how remarkable you are and just a few of the qualities that set you apart. Your cohort of graduates from this business school display an entrepreneurial mindset that seems now to come naturally, built on the foundation of your time here. And I don't mean that you all want to go out and start your own businesses. Rather, that you display the drive, the curiosity, the technical foundation, and the creative approach to problem solving found in our most innovative young leaders, the people who go on to become CEOs, the true disruptors, the inventors that we admire most. I've gotten to know many of you, whether through the Worth Institute or Hillside Ventures or just on social media. That's my team. You present yourselves with both self-confidence and authentic humility. Your opinions are based on both data and instinct. You have a tenacious perseverance that I wish I could bottle. So whether you choose to start your career at a big company or pursue a postgraduate education, whether your calling is the nonprofit sector, or whether you do start your own business, I know you will lead by example without ever forgetting how important it is to listen and to collaborate. The world needs your courage. It needs your commercial sensibilities to attack some truly daunting problems. Our environment, our planet, needs entrepreneurial solutions. Our education system needs entrepreneurial creativity. And the humanitarian horrors that we have witnessed just this semester will need new geopolitical playbooks. Do you know who comes up with the best responses to existential threats? Entrepreneurs. And the people who think like entrepreneurs. They do it every day. So tradition holds that I leave you with a few pearls of wisdom gathered from 35 years of real-world work experience. You can look back in a few decades and be the judge of the wisdom part, but I'll give you some pearls. Serendipity is a truism. Things will happen because you are in a particular place at a particular time, so you can't plan your career. You can try, but please know that the journey itself will make you better. especially if you remember to enjoy it. In the age of remote work, you will have to build relationships in more deliberate ways. Physical proximity in the office won't be an everyday thing for many of you. So please, go out of your way to spend face-to-face time with your coworkers, your bosses, your clients, your constituents. You will find a correlation between those relationships and your happiness, and likely your success. The work friends you make over the years will facilitate pivots over the course of your career. They will help you hit the reset button when you need to. Let the alignment of your core values guide you to the right opportunities and the right people. Find those around you who embrace gratitude over grievance, kindness over contention, respect over ridicule, and try to leave every organization, every work group, just a little bit better than you found it. And lastly, when you find a mission that deeply inspires you, give it everything you have. Leave it all on the field. You may break a few things along the way. I hope you do, because that's how you will make the world a better place. So congratulations, keep building. Thank you.
Dr. Vogel, thank you. Thank you for those words of wisdom. Thank you for sharing them with me last night. And I hope folks who watch this get as much out of it as I did. Rich, you are awesome. You have meant so much to me, so much to our company, so much to our families. And I just want to say thank you. You indeed are the GOAT. All right, everyone. Cheers and have a great weekend. Bye-bye.